Frank Spector walking the streets of Chicago and tell stories to their grandchildren about how they met him at the local dive one day and bought him a drink. Even if you told everyone the truth, no one would believe you.
If I didn't know any better, Miss Hestridge, I'd say you worked in the movie business.
And if I knew nothing else, I can still see the need to prove yourself from a mile away.
So, you think I should take your case and prove it to myself then?
For yourself, for the ridiculous amount of money I'm prepared to pay, and for the best reason of all, influence.
Influence?
My dear, by saving the Carlyle family from public humiliation, you've earned yourself a seat at the table. Do this job for me, and you'll have the wealthy of the West Coast calling on you to sort through their dirty laundry and paying handsomely to do it.
All right, tell me more.
First, I'll have you understand that what I tell you does not leave this room. If you take this job, you must avoid public detection at all costs.
And who better than Frank Spector's secretary to go unnoticed?
Your anonymity gives you an advantage you're going to need. Tabloid sleaze is on the rise. Soon enough, I'll have to have my own filth rag just to keep the private lives of my talent out of the headlines.
Now I am intrigued. All right, Miss Hestridge, you have my word, but I want to know everything, no matter how embarrassing. You trust me with your family secret because it's in my best interest to keep it, but I'm going to need every detail, no matter how insignificant.
Agreed. Please sit down. I'll tell you everything.
Now, what's the job?
Are you familiar with the actress Olivia Davis?
I think I've seen one of her pictures. She's under contract to Golden Pine, isn't she?
Indeed she is. One of my most promising young talents, and I'm afraid she's gone missing.
This is the first I've heard about it. How long has she been missing?
3 weeks.
And you haven't contacted the police?
I have not.
And you would like me to find her?
I would. Her latest picture just wrapped. Since it isn't scheduled for release until next year, she told me she wanted to take some time off at the cabin she stays at when she's not working.
Where is it located?
Some middle of nowhere beach community just up the coast called Malibu.
How long has it been since you spoke with her?
3 weeks to the day. I called to check up on her. She told me she was having a wonderful time. 3 days later, I called again. There's no answer. A day went by, so I drove up to see if everything was all right, and she wasn't there. I can't say if she took anything with her since the place looked like it hadn't been lived in for ages.
And that's everything?
To the best of my recollection, yes.
Miss Hestridge, am I expected to believe that this is how you treat all your talent? She could have gone to Europe or Hawaii, but because she didn't tell you, you expressed this kind of concern?
Damn. Well, better you find out than Casimir, one of his flashy bulb mongers, I suppose. Olivia's my niece.
What else?
She's the only family I have left. You can understand if I'm a bit overprotective of her.
Miss Hestridge, what else?
I see I'm going to get my money's worth out of you. Very well, Miss Beaumont. Before my father left this world, he buried one son and then my mother. The only reason I took control of the family's interest is because my brother had walked away from everything. He went so far as to change his name and start a new life of his own. Since there was no one else and father had gone so far as to write Nelson out of the will, I was elected unanimously by the board. When I proceeded to establish myself as more than a name on the company letterhead, people began to assume that I never married in order to keep my position. But the truth is that I am barren.
So, Olivia is Nelson's daughter.
She didn't even tell me at first. Worked her way up on her own. Then when I decided to sign her to a 3-picture deal, it was brought to my attention that the name on Olivia's driver's license differed from the one on her social security card.
How thorough. Most places don't even pay attention to things like that.
Miss Beaumont, I am thorough if nothing else. Most picture companies think it best not to pry into the private lives of their talent. I believe in getting to the dirt before the press does. Turns out that while my brother never asked for a single penny, he did keep the family name on Olivia's social security card and her birth certificate. When I confronted her about it, she told me that Nelson and her mother had died during the Depression. She loved movies and the stage, so when she turned 18, she used what little money her parents had left to move to Los Angeles.
Didn't hurt to know she had family waiting for her.
She auditioned at every other studio before coming to Golden Pine. A year passed before she even spoke to me at a cast party.
What was her reaction when you confronted her?
To be certain, there was a great deal of concern on her part. I reassured her that nothing would change, and while I didn't entirely agree with her father's choices, I respected them as well as her own. It's been almost a year now, and things seemed to be going well until I lost contact with her.
And that's all?
Miss Bluemont, despite what people think, I'm not some heartless, miserable blue blood whose only concern is money. My family built a fortune from a modest New England lumber camp, and I have devoted my life to keeping that legacy alive. Olivia is all I have left of that legacy, and I just want to know that she's all right.
All right, Miss Hestridge, you've got a deal, but I'll need a large sum of cash up front for expenses.
My driver can take you wherever you need. Every hotel in this country can have a personal suite ready with a phone call from myself.
Miss Hestridge, you said low profile. Limousines and chauffeurs draw attention, as do people staying in fancy hotels. I'll need my own transportation and the funds to get me wherever Olivia went the second I find out. No planes, no limos, no luxuries. You started looking for her the day you went out to the cabin, didn't you?
Well, yes, of course, but my associates have found nothing, and her mother's family hasn't seen her.
Then there's a chance you've already attracted unwanted attention.
I see. It seems I have chosen the right woman for the job.
I'm glad we understand each other. Now there's no time to waste. I'll start immediately. Please have a car brought around. I'm going to start with Olivia's beach house, and then I'll need access to your family's history.
I'll have a car dispatched right away. You can come by the family mansion. I'll have the archive made available in the study.
That'll be fine. I won't need anything else until I know where I'm going. Now, if you would, please call your man with the golf cart and tell him that I'll have to take the tour some other time.
Dun,
Good.
dun,
Dun, dun, dun. On to the next. All right, that's good.
All right.
That's good. And I'm glad I got this on record also.
Thank you.
Good job.
Oh my gosh.
Um,